Welcome to BioTrack Training. In this module we're going to show you another one of the food safety tools which is very useful for maintaining your hygiene registries. This is the Auto-Populate Registries module. What you'll see here is a dashboard of hygiene registries, the water test registry, the weekly water test registry, verification of water quality, maintenance routine, maintenance verification, cleaning routine, cleaning verification, pest control verification, compliance, and HACCP analysis. What this dashboard allows you to do is to populate each of these registries with default data based on the most recent default data. And the idea of this is that you don't have to enter dozens and dozens and probably hundreds of results which are almost identical, or if not identical, all the time. So if you look at, say, let's take the water test one, you'll see that the last sample date that's recorded is the 8th of August. So if you say go here, nothing will happen because the 8th of August is the last date on which you were required to take the test. If you look at another one which is much older, like the maintenance verification, you'll notice that the last audit date was on the 4th of May. So that means you have to enter from your paper records all the records since the 4th of May, and it's now August. So to make that a little bit easier, the dashboard allows you to populate it automatically, and you can now see that it's populated between the last date and the 3rd of June. And we'll do that again, and the 3rd of July, and the 2nd of August. So it's populated all those results for you. Now that doesn't mean to say you don't have to go back and enter the data, but all you have to do is enter the data which is different. So most people collect their hygiene records on paper using a clipboard or whatever, and they collect those manually in handwritten form. And what you now need to do is to go back over the records which have been auto-populated and amend them to reflect the reality that you've recorded on the ground. But it also means that you don't have to enter records which are exactly the same as they always are. So in the case of water quality, it's always 0.2 parts per million of chlorine, hardly ever varies. You only need to change it where it does. So this saves quite a lot of time. Same with the cleaning routine. You don't have to enter the fact that you cleaned the same objects on all the days since the 4th of May. If you click on the Go button, it will populate the weekly cleaning routine records, and it will fill in all the objects that you normally clean. If there's anything else that you clean in addition, or if the results are not as they were as created as default results, then using your manual paper records, you manually go through those records and make them reflect the reality. But this does save an awful lot of time. So we'll just bring up all our registries to the current date. Obviously it won't let you go into the future, so it won't allow me to add anything after that date. So now up to date. We'll leave the HACCP for the time being because we have to look at HACCP as a separate thing, separate module. But now all your registers are theoretically up to date. However, they're only populated with default data, and we cannot emphasize enough, you now need to take the real records and make sure that the registers reflect the reality. So for example, we would go to the water registry, and these are default data that have just been populated by the facility I showed you. If your physical records show that, for example, this result is not correct, then you need to change that to reflect the reality. But if you notice, you're only changing by exception. You're not changing all of them, because most of them will be the same most of the time. Most of the results will be good, and they will give you an average chlorine value most of the time. Most of the time there won't be an incident, and most of the time the person responsible for doing it will be the same person. And so it saves you having to fill in an awful lot of redundant data that takes up, is very time consuming. And that's it. That's Auto-Populate Registries. You don't have to use it. It's available if you want to use it, and you have to be careful that you don't you're not tempted not to fill in the reality. You have to go back and transfer your real physical records on top of the default values that you've generated. That's it. Thank you.